Snowmen from a different perspective. Hi friends, welcome back to the art room with Mrs. Nolte. Today's project, you're going to need colored pencils or twistables, a black marker, could be a Sharpie or a Crayola marker, and a square piece of white paper. We are going to be creating 4 snowmen and with a perspective to look like they're looking down on us, like we're down on the ground and looking up, and the snowmen are kind of looking down over us. On each corner of our paper, we are going to draw a curved line. This is going to be like a partial circle. So we're going to turn our paper and draw 4 curved lines. Next, I'm going to add a scarf for one of the snowmen. So I'm going to draw a long oval shape on one of the curved lines. I'm going to do one on the other as well. These are going to be scarves on my snowmen. I'm going to make them each a little bit different. Now we're going to add a head for each of the snowmen. And we're going to do that by, on the one here that has the scarf, I'm going to draw a circle shape, but not quite the whole thing. It's going to be a circle and it's going to stop when it hits the scarf. I'm going to draw another one here, and I'm going to try to leave a little bit of room between them so I can add some hats. So I'm going to start the scarf. I'm going to draw a curved line and come back to where the scarf is. And on this one I'm going to add the bottom part of the scarf. There we go. This snowman's not going to get a scarf, it's just going to get a head. So again, I'm going to draw a partial circle shape. And same thing on this one here. Partial circle. So now I have my 4 snowmen. They're kind of looking down at me. On this one here, I'm going to add a little hat. This is going to be a rectangle shape. It's going to look like a little top hat. So 2 rectangle shapes. I'll color it in after. On this one, I'm going to make like a cap with a little tail on it. The other 2 I think I'm going to leave for a minute until I decide what I want to put on it. I'm going to start with my eyes. So on this snowman, I'm going to draw 2 large circles with 2 smaller circles on the inside. I'm going to color everything in except for the little round white circle. This will give it a little highlight and it'll give a little dimension to the eye. So it's just not a black dot. Now because we're looking up from the ground, his little carrot nose is actually going to be going facing up because it looks like he's kind of looming over us. So I'm going to start with basically a triangle shape with a little curved bottom. And then we're going to add some little coal pieces for a mouth. So some little round black dots. I'm going to add some buttons, but I'm going to make the circles getting bigger as I get to the corner of the page, so the perspective shows it getting, as it gets closer to me, it's getting bigger. And I'm going to add some stripes to this little cap. You can add any kind of design you want on your cap. Our next snowman, I'm going to start with the eyes. So I'm going to put 2 circles. Two smaller circles inside for a highlight. I'm going to fill the eyes in black. I'm going to add another carrot nose, but this time again with it going facing up. And a little smiley mouth of coal. I'm going to do another set of buttons for this snowman as well, and again making them larger as I get towards the corner of the paper. I think on this one I'm going to make a little cap on the top of this one too. Now I already drew the top of the head, so I'm just going to make some curly lines on it to make it look fluffy, and then I'm going to do a bent triangle at the top with a little poof on the end. Next snowman. What should we start with first? Let's do 2 eyes. So a circle and another large circle and a smaller circle in the middle. This is my other kitty. This is Sky. And I made a little line coming off one of these eyes, so I decided to give this snow person or snowman some eyelashes. Pointy carrot nose going up. Some coal for the mouth. And I think on this one, I'm going to make the button square just to change up the design on it. I'm going to make them square buttons. And my last guy here, who has a little top hat, I'm going to round off this a little bit and color this one in black. And I'm going to add 2 eyes. Large circle, small circle in the middle. Create a carrot nose going up like a triangle with kind of a curved bottom. I put some little lines in it too, so it looks a little more like a carrot. I'm going to give him a little coal smile. And on his buttons, I'm going to make little heart shapes. You can make your buttons any shape you want. Just keep the perspective as they're getting closer to you or to the bottom of the page, they get bigger. That'll help with the illusion that they're looming over you. We're going to add some little stick arms. Make sure each of your snowmen gets an arm. Arms, sorry, plural, 2 arms. Unless a dog ran off with one. 2 arms. There we go. I think, let's see, I'm going to color in the top hat black while I still have my marker out, because I'm going to be using colored pencils to do all the details on the snowmen. But the black I want to be very contrasting and very black, so I'm going to use my marker to color in the hat. And I think for this one here, I'm going to put a little cap on this one too. She looks a little bald, so I'm going to make a little, let's see, kind of a little fat triangle. With a little pom-pom on the top. I'm going to make it a striped hat with a pom-pom. You can make it anything you want on your snowman. All right, so I think that's about it with my marker. Now I'm going to grab a blue colored pencil, and I'm going to draw in a bunch of large circles around them. This is going to be for the snow. So I'm going to start, and I made mine a little bit smaller than I should have. I'd make them a little bit bigger than what I'm doing here. I'm going to make some snowflakes coming down around them. Later I'm going to color the sky in completely blue and leave these little circles white so it looks like the snow is falling. I decided I wanted to add a stripe to this scarf. And now I'm going to start to color in all of the elements that should be colored, which would be their hats, their scarves, their buttons, and their carrot noses, and the sky. The snowmen themselves will stay completely white. One of the things I want to talk about when we do color, and you use a colored pencil or say a twistable or a crayon, you want to use a very light touch on this. I wouldn't necessarily do this with a marker because I think the marker is going to bleed a little bit and you're going to lose some of the details of your drawing. So a colored pencil or a twistable would probably be a better way to go. I'm using a very gentle touch, and I'm going to very gently color in some of my details here. So I gave this guy a green hat, and I'm going to color in, as you see I did all the carrots. I'm going to color in the buttons and the fluff on the hat. So I'm going to let you do your own coloring. I've sped up the film a little bit, so while we're working, this can play and you can work on coloring in your snowman. So I have my snowman pretty well colored in. Now I'm looking at the background, the sky. So the whole area behind the snowman is going to be a sky color. And I did mine with a very light blue. You could do yours with a darker blue. You could actually pick any color you want, but I wanted mine to look like a cool afternoon in the winter. So I'm going to use a light blue. One of the tricks I've done so that these snowflakes show up a little bit is as I'm coloring this in, again, I'm using a very light touch with my pencil. I'm going around each of the snowflakes a couple of times to fill in the area around them so that the dots still show up white. And I'm using a very small stroke so that I can blend the stroke in so it looks like more of a solid color than really scratchy. And I want it to be smooth. I want the outside, the background, to have a smooth, solid color look to it. And again, I don't draw this fast. I did speed up the film a little bit, so when you're looking at it, this is not me drawing quite this quickly. Again, go around your little snowflakes and just a nice, light, small stroke touch around each of the snowmen. There we go. Our snowmen are all done. I love this little project. I hope that you enjoyed this one as well. It's a great way to look at perspective or a different take on these winter snowmen out in the snow. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time in the art room. Bye, everyone.